Thank you. Next up, the State Minister for the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing, Honorable Arundika Fernando, will grace the audience with his thoughts.
Good morning, Honorable Prasanna Ranatunga, Minister of Urban Development and Housing, His Excellency Jean Francois Pactec, Ambassador of France, Mr. David Bajoku, Maritime Safety Director of CLS, Mr. W.S. Hatyananda, Secretary to the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing, and Chairman MIPA, Mr. Asela Rakava, heads of all the government agencies, senior officers of the Triforces, and all the other distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. Today, I stand before this distinguished gathering for the signing ceremony of this pilot project on satellite-based oil spill monitoring service in Sri Lanka. And this is something that we were actually aware of the risk posed by shipping-related incidents to our marine environment. The early marine disasters underscore the critical importance of the functions carried out by the Marine Environment Protection Authority, MIPA. Their unwavering dedication in protecting, managing and conserving our invaluable marine resources merits our highest commendation. Furthermore, I wish to highlight the pivotal role of embracing state-of-the-art technologies, particularly the satellite-based oil spill detection service generously funded by the French government and facilitated by Collective Location Satellites CLS. This initiative serves as a beacon of hope in our collective responsible stewardship over Sri Lanka's marine resources. Our marine environment and national treasure not only sustains livelihoods but also plays a pivotal role in maintaining our planet's ecological system. We are entrusted with the duty of preserving it for both present and future generations. The Marine Environment Protection Authority of Sri Lanka, under the purview of our ministry, bears the significant responsibility of conserving, managing and safeguarding this vital resource. I firmly believe the fortfitting MIPA's capabilities, both in terms of software and hardware tools, is essential for the efficient functioning. Additionally, it is imperative of initiate programs aimed for enhancing MIPA's income generation capacity, enabling them to independently carry out their functions effectively. And also, I should mention now, Sri Lanka is, you know that we are in a financial crisis, that to overcome this financial crisis, one of the areas is tourism. Sri Lanka is blessed with some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. So for that also, I think this helps. The responsibilities entrusted to the Marine Environment Protection Authority of Sri Lanka are paramount for the conservation, protection and management of our marine environment. Their proactive programs have already wielded substantial progress in this endeavor. By this advanced technologies such as the National Satellite-Based Oil Spill Detection Service, we demonstrate our unwavering commitment to innovation and environmental preservation. The endeavor, this mean protection of our marine resource, it is about ensuring the sustainability of our planet for generations to come. I extend our heartfelt gratitude to the Government of France and Ambassador for the generous support. Furthermore, I kindly request their continued assistance in this sector to fortify the protection of our coastal and marine environment. This effort not only yields local benefits but contributes to global well-being. Special thanks goes to Alex because he is one of the main persons who was behind this, who was pushing us, who was pushing the other related agencies. So special thanks goes to him and also the BIPA officials, chairman and the other officials, secretary to our ministry. The special thanks goes to the ambassador and also the minister. And let me speak few words in Sinhalese. Now, මම හිතන්නේ අද දිනදී ප්‍රංශ රජය සහ ශ්‍රී ලංකා අපේ ලක් රජය එකතු වෙලා මේ අත්සන් කරපු ගිවිසුම. මම හිතන්නේ මේ ගිවිසුම තුලින් අපි දන්නවා අපිට පහුගිය කාලේ විශාල ප්‍රශ්න රාශියක් ඇති වුණා මේ සමුද්‍රීය පරිසරය සහ සමුද්‍රය ආරක්ෂා කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් විශේෂයෙන්ම එක්ස්ප්‍රස් වෙල් වගේ නෞකා සිද්ධියත් එක්කලා මම හිතන්නේ ඉදිරියේදී මේ අපි අද කරන්න යන දෑත් එක්කලා තාක්ෂණය එකතු කරගෙන සැටලයිට් සේවාවන් ලබාගෙන මේ සමුද්‍ර පරිසරය ආරක්ෂා කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් මේ ඇති කරගත්තා වූ ගිවිසුමත් එක්කලා ඒ නැව් හරියට මොනිටර් කරලා එහෙම නැව් නියාමනය කරලා එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒ මොනවනින්ද අපිට මේ පරිසර දූෂණය වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් තෙල් කාන්දු වීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් මම හිතන්නේ විශාල ඉදිරියේදී අපිට ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් මේ සැටලයිට් සේවාවන් උපයෝග කරගෙන විශාල කාර්යයක් ඉෂ්ට කර ගැනීමට පුළුවන් වෙනවා. ඉතින් මේක නිසා විශේෂ ස්තුතියක් ප්‍රංශ රජයට මේ වෙලාවේදී අපේ රජය වෙනුවෙන් පුද කරමින් තමුන්වහන්සේලා සිල්දානම සුබ දවසක් ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා.
Thank you. And now it's time to sign the Memorandum of Understanding for the pilot project on satellite-based oil spill monitoring services in Sri Lanka. I would like to invite the chairman of the Marine Environment Protection Authority, Mr. Asela B. Rakava, and Mr. David Bajuku, in place of the CEO of Collected Localization Satellites, to sign the Memorandum of Understanding. I would also like to invite all the dignitaries of the head table to share in this monumental occasion. Thank you. Please be seated. Next up, there will be a presentation briefing the technical aspects of the oil spill monitoring system by the project manager of the CLS, Mr. Olivier Germain.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to provide this brief and the technical details of the project to come. And I just would like to add to the nice opening words that all the CLS teams are very excited and very committed to start this project, which is actually more than a project. We really consider this as a partnership that we would like to build with MEPA today. So if you can please display the slides, yes. I would like to start maybe with a picture of a well-known incident here. I'm talking about the Express Pearl incident, which happened in 2021, and illustrates to you that this kind of incident was actually seen from space with our satellites. And this is actually an illustration of one possible thing that we can do with satellites to combat oil spills. Satellites are used for not only support the operation in case of this kind of accidents and to support the anti-pollution operations, guiding the teams to know where the spill is and where it's going to land over the coast. But it's also a very, very important tool to combat another aspect. I'm not talking about accident in that case. I'm talking about illegal discharge, which is also something really contributing to the pollution of the coast. And in that case, the goal is to detect very rapidly the oil spill being released illegally, to identify the polluters, and to take action for prosecution. So there are many benefits to use the satellite technology. Obviously, this is a very efficient way to cover very large maritime areas. If you take one particular image, it can cover up to 20% of the entire exclusive economic zone of Sri Lanka. Using the satellite technology that will be mobilized in this project, we have the ability to monitor the maritime domain day and night and independently of weather conditions. We also have the opportunity to deliver, at the end of the day, to deliver the information in a very fast manner whenever it's needed. The information can be delivered to the operation as fast as 20 minutes after the satellite pass. And what I would like to emphasize again here is that this has been used for years now in Europe. David Bajuko mentioned that in his introduction speech. The European Maritime Safety Agency has been using this technology for more than 15 years now, and the outcome of this use has been to divide the number of pollution in European waters by 2. So this is exactly what we would like to develop here. We would like to, deploy this kind of technology in Sri Lanka to help the country achieve the same goal. So the final objectives of the projects are to test the applicability of the technology here in Sri Lanka and to demonstrate the benefits to Sri Lankan authorities of this kind of technology. And of course, this is something that the project itself is a demonstration project. It's going to last 1 year. But at the end of the day, what we would like to do is to develop some kind of scale-up and to transfer the technology to Sri Lanka so that a real, fully operational and sovereign capacity can be built in the country. A few words about the concept of operations. So the way we're going to operate this project is as shown on the slide. The MEPA and CLS will discuss together to decide what we call an acquisition plan. So this is the choice of the satellite images that are going to be taken by the satellites, where and when these acquisitions should take place to respond as good as possible to the needs of MIPA. And once those are chosen on a regular basis, orders will be transferred to satellite operators so that satellites can be tasked accordingly. So when tasked, the satellite will ultimately acquire the image over the area of interest and download the data to any of the ground stations that CLS is operating. And receiving the data, the teams in France, in CLS, will analyze the data and prepare reports that will be sent to MEPA. And these reports will contain information such as the detection, where the pollution took place, and possibly, whenever possible, who has caused the pollution, so the identification of the potential polluter. And the goal is for MEPA to use this information to take actions against the polluters. So a few figures about this demonstration project. There will be more than 200 images taken over 1 year. So this is, on average, more than one image every 2 days. We will mobilize up to 4 different satellite missions to cover Sri Lankan waters. And actually, this has started. We acquired the first image on Saturday, the 2nd of September. And this will be analyzed together with MEPA this afternoon during a dedicated technical meeting. And let me also highlight the fact that the one aim of the project is to start really building this capacity, and this will be implemented through a training plan, a very efficient training plan with many sessions, including 2 in France, where we will be delighted to welcome MEPA staff in our operational centers of Brest and Toulouse in France for their training. I think this is it, and I'm ready for any question you may have on these technical details. Thank you very much.
Any questions? You can post it to the representative. Even the media can ask. Yes, please.
Thank you for the presentation. Could you elaborate a little bit on how it can be expanded in a sense of the application? Is it just for monitoring oil spills, or can the technology be used and expanded into other areas of monitoring maritime activity like fishing and those related activities?
Okay, so yes, no, satellite imagery is obviously not limited to oil spill monitoring. So if I go in the fine details, I mean, the technology, the satellite technology we are using for this project is quite particular. It's a radar technology, and it's, like I said, it's used in this case to have an operational vision independently of the cloud cover, which can hinder the optical observation of satellites. But with this kind of images, there are more applications than just oil spill monitoring. Using this technology, you have the ability to detect vessels on the maritime domain and crossing this information with other source of information. One very interesting application is fighting against illegal fishing, because you can detect the presence of vessels that should not be here, for instance, and do not declare their positions. So even if they switch off all their equipment to declare their positions, you can see them, and they become suspicious vessels that you may want to inspect. So that's one possible application. There are also other kind of applications. These kind of images, they have the ability to provide measurements of the maritime environments, and I'm talking here about parameters like surface wind. So the surface wind is acting on the sea surface and measuring these images. You can retrieve the wind. You may also retrieve the waves, the swells, so you can do this kind of measurements, and as well as the sea surface currents. So those are the typical parameters you may also measure with this image. And now going broader to other technologies. So if you use optical images instead, the range of application is very wide, and you can do many charting of the land, for instance, or the coastal environments, for application ranging from urban developments to agriculture or to forestry. You can map, you can do maps in time and detect changes in time in a very efficient and very precise manner. So yes, this is opening the door to many more applications than just oil spill.
Excuse me, one more question here. Actually, is this using only satellite image technologies to monitor any oil spills after the incident happened or something like that? Or it can be used for early detection, like if we don't know the position or any leakage has happened, but can we monitor it before any incidents happen? Like it is always using imageries to monitor, or only after incident happened?
So you can, if I understood your question is about how can we use to identify the polluters?
Yeah. Is it just only satellite imageries, or it is any other technology is used to detect earlier?
Okay, so the source of information we are going to use for this project is not limited to satellite imagery. We also use another satellite technology which is called AIS satellites, and those are satellites which have the ability to collect signal, AIS signal emitted by vessels. And generally these kind of signals are received by coastal transmitters or by transmitters deployed on the ship, but with a very limited range. And using satellites instead allow you to have a global view of this kind of signals and potentially to have the global view of the maritime traffic. So there have been many and many satellites launched towards this goal and this application. And today, we at CLS are leaders in getting the information from dedicated suppliers and putting them together to offer our users the most precise information that they need. And in this particular case, we will use this kind of signals to correlate that with what we observe on the satellite images and understand what's behind. So in the particular case of an oil spill, when you can see an oil spill on the image, the immediate thing you want to do is to display on it the different tracks of the vessel that you may access through the AIS signal and see if one of them is matching the shape of the oil spill. And in that case, you would say this is possibly the polluter, the cause of this oil spill.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question, please? Okay.
No more questions.
Yes, we can continue.
In the absence of any further questions, we will entertain a short session to answer any inquiries that the media may have regarding the project.
We open that to the media as well, so we can go to the next.